Welcome to the Ministry of Creativity for the Love of Ghost podcast series. Hello, everybody, and welcome to this episode of the Ministry of Creativity. As you can see, I am down a co-host. Unfortunately, life has taken a turn, so she's not available today, unfortunately. But our poor guest has already rescheduled. We've all had to reschedule numerous times, so we're going to do it. We're going to sit and we're going to chat. So I'm going to ask my guest to introduce themselves.
Well, I had the honour of meeting you through Ghost, and my bestie, as I call her, Vanessa Warwick.
Yay!
Love you, Vanessa. Actually, we were just together yesterday. So, yeah, I was the producer of MTV's Headbangers Ball back in the 90s, where we were the only two women working in metal TV. Sharon Osbourne took us under her wing, and through her, we got to work on with the most incredible rock bands on the planet. One of
Wow.
whom being a young Tobias, who was back home in Sweden watching MTV's Headbangers Ball, thought of us all these years later and brought back a version called GTV Gallbangers Ball, which is just such a huge pat on the back to what Vanessa did in the 90s, and also just brilliant to see her back on the screen. It's brilliant for me to be behind the scenes, and then through her, obviously met you. So I still carried on producing the rock and metal stuff. I still do reviews, I write books.
Yes.
But I am just loving life, like doing stuff with Vanessa and meeting all you guys. So that's me in a
Yeah.
nutshell.
That's you in a nutshell. Yeah, that is like just incredible. Like what I've seen your stuff. You're on I read your latest one. It was on, is it Metal Talk? Is it Metal?
Yes. Yeah.
Yes, good. I got it right. That's the ADHD brain going, I had a name to it. And I loved your latest one where you actually went out. How good was it going to actually see Ghost in the US? How was that for you?
It was really good actually. I'd seen them before a long time ago in Los Angeles, and I first started working with Ghost way back in 2014 when they played at Sonosphere Festival. And as you know, I'm a TV producer, so I was producing the whole thing for Sky Arts. And they said, "Oh, Ghost are on the lineup. Do you want to do something with Ghost?" And I was like, "Absolutely." And
What?
for me, it was even in those early stages, I suppose, for them sort of fanning out and becoming as big as the Ghost Juggernaut is. I didn't know that much about them, and when they walked into the sort of backstage arena, you know, you had Papa all dressed up, and then you had these Swedish nameless ghouls just all walking behind him. And I'll never forget, we had bands like Slayer, Slipknot, and everyone turned around and went, "Who the hell is this?" And we just all went like that. And then my funniest moment was when Ghost met Baby Metal. So you can imagine these huge 8 or 9 nameless ghouls and Papa with this full-on papal outfit going on, and little teeny tiny Japanese girls going like that. And everyone was crying with laughter, but also going, we know something special is going to come out of this. And cut to the live performance. I don't know if you have any of your fans ever saw them in 2014, but when they came on at Sonosphere, it was daylight, which is not very
Unusual.
fun for the darker bands. I
No.
know. We actually laughed when Marilyn Manson tried to perform in broad daylight in the sunshine, and Slipknot, bless them, they all got sunburn.
I was going to say, they probably couldn't cope. The
Factor
daylight's still.
1000. You need factor 1000 goth bands.
Exactly.
So they came on stage, and I went out into the crowd with my little camera, and I filmed everyone's reaction. So basically, they came on to, which has now become one of my all-time favorite songs. It was Jocelyn Pook,
Hmm.
and it was the theme music to Eyes Wide Shut. You know, the Stanley Kubrick, absolutely incredible, brilliant music. It was just so haunting, and no one knew what to expect. So
No.
it's all the nameless ghouls, and Papa just walks on, and they literally stare at the crowd. And this is broad daylight, 80,000 people, and the eerie music of Jocelyn Pook, Masked Ball, is playing out. So I filmed all their reactions from little kids on dad's shoulders to people that had already realised that Ghost, you could emulate them, you could dress
Yeah.
in any way you want, all walks of life, from the young to the old, every creed, doesn't matter what you like, everyone stopped. So I shot this scene where they're looking out. So we got the sort of blue of a lot of their eyes. We got like peppered, like sort of corpsey makeup, and then the kids reacting, and then people in the audience starting to conduct. And it was just this absolute two-way street of fan meets
Wow.
band. And it was one of the most goosebumps
I've
moments
got
I've
them
ever.
now. I've got them now just hearing it, like the description of it. It just sounds so powerful.
It was really powerful and it was very quiet. So it was literally, you could hear a pin drop, and that's 60, 70, 80,000 people just like that. And then looking back out, it was just one of those, I'll never forget it as long as I live. And from then on, when they kicked into the music and I heard, what a great singer Tobias is,
He
and
is
then what great
phenomenal.
performers the band are. And they really did throw a bomb in that went like this. And, that's 11 years ago. And fast forward to the now, we're still talking about this band, and they've become such a huge global phenomenon.
A powerhouse, a powerhouse. And I think it's given permission, not just for other bands, but even just everyday people to live a
Mm.
little bit freer.
Hmm. Definitely. And then I saw them. I was really lucky enough. I was visiting a friend on holiday in LA when it used to be cheap, and I'd just stay with her. And I'd often go out to LA to stalk all my favorite rock bands, such as Alice in Chains,
Hmm.
um, Machine Head, Slipknot, all Faith No More. So I was
Yep,
always trying to go out there. As soon as they announced tours, I was like, put it on the credit card. Life's too short. Just go and enjoy
go.
it. And then my mate was like, "Oh, I'm going to see Ghost tonight," and I said, "Oh, produced them at Sonosphere, but I didn't get really a chance to enjoy it because I was busy filming and then had to edit it all." And so they said, "Oh, come along." So we went to this huge arena in LA, and I was lucky enough to get backstage. And testament to Ghost, the amount of huge famous rock stars that were there backstage, from the Osbournes to Jerry Cantrell, my favorite rock star from Alice in Chains, to Metallica. Everyone was there to see Ghost, and I just thought, oh my God, even after Sonosphere, they've gone up like even more layers. And
Yeah.
then so return to Orlando was a huge deal for me because I was going out to see friends that had moved there from England, and then spoke to Vanessa and I said, "Oh my God, are you covering Skeletor?" And she said, "Oh yeah, you better come, you better come." And lucky we did that first night because that's when all the storms came in. So
Yes. God, it
bless
was
the
something
poor God
else.
of
Yeah,
snow.
all the snow and it,
I
yeah.
had to sleep in a duvet coat in what is supposed to be the hottest place in America, absolutely
Yeah.
shivering. Couldn't get my suitcase open because my friend had put a stupid lock on it. Anyway, luckily got the case undone the next day so I could get all dressed up and ritual ready. And for me, really, that was my first ritual. It's the
Yes.
first time I'd proper been
Just
Satan.
you going as you and
Yeah, and you're with the audience, you're with your mates. So I had my gay bro, as I call him, Dom, with me and his partner, and they love Ghost, and they live in Orlando. So they put the full-on guy liner, mascara. They look fabulous. We all dressed up, more glitter than Cher at a comeback gig.
yep.
Really excited, but it was a bit Spinal Tap, I have to say, as usual with any gig I go to. So we had a photographer who had flown in from New York. We were covering it for Metal Talk, but the aim was to meet up with Vanessa and do kind of an on-the-road report, but from a
Yep.
sort of British point of view, but seeing how incredible the Ghost fans are in the States,
Yes.
how Vanessa is just the queen of GTV and how
Oh,
she
she
interacts
is.
with
She's
fans.
part of the family now, or the
Yeah,
family.
and all my gays wanted to meet her, and they were so excited. Anyway, long story short, we got to the venue and it was in the middle of nowhere in downtown Orlando. There's nothing much around it. And I was like, my photographer said, "Oh, I need to eat. I need to eat." To be honest with you, she was really needy and a diva. So I won't name names, but she was just, oh. And I said, "Look, the only place near, and I know it's where the Ghost fans are going first, is this Mexican restaurant." She was like, "I don't want to have Mexican. I have Mexican food all the time." And I said, "Well, we don't have any good Mexican in
Mexican.
England." And I said, "And it's where all the fans are going. So we need to
Yeah.
go there." And she said, "No, I want to try and find somewhere else." So we walked around this really sketchy area. Like it was really sketchy. And I've like worked in Oakland, I've worked in
That's what I said.
Harlem, I've worked in South Compton, and nothing was like this
Compared
place.
to that.
Yeah, everyone was on meth and trying to sell us crack, and I was like, Jesus Christ. So anyway, I said, right, I'm going to that Mexican. We're going now. And just from there on, they had ghost music on, we had a spicy margarita, and just got to chat to people there. And then we walked along to the Kia Centre early and met up with the most incredible fans. I think you know a lot of them that are
I
on
know quite a few,
Insta.
yeah.
And their outfits, I was blown away. And every time they all met up, they'd all come up and get into this circle and do this kind of like ghost thing that I hadn't seen before. And it was absolutely amazing. They were really happy for us to take photos. They all recognised me as Vanessa's bestie, so got loads of hugs, got given loads of bracelets,
Yeah.
and had a really good time, really good time. And then to get her American arenas, you have to literally, it's like security central.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
ridiculous. And they treat rock fans like they're idiots. Um, so yeah, basically we had to walk about another 100 miles to take
Yeah.
the camera around. There was the usual
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
trying to get in and get through. And so I left her because she had to go into the camera pit where she was allowed to take photos. And then I met up with my lovely friends, and we were just in the general seated area. And uh, we literally didn't get a chance to meet Vanessa. All we did, we'd
Typical
flown how many thousands of miles to do this thing. She'd
thing.
been called off to do a report from somewhere, and then she had to do an interview. We
Oh, yes.
literally saw the top of her bum.
You saw her. She's there. She's over
Yeah.
there.
Yeah, and that was my gaze, who was slightly taller than me, and they were like, "Oh my God, there she is!" And we could see her bum, but obviously there was no phones, and which we approve of in
Yes.
the
Yeah,
arena, so
yeah.
we couldn't tell her we're here, we're
We're
here.
here.
But we could just see her bum watching the gig, and we thought that was hilarious.
That's so typical, isn't it? It literally, yeah. I wonder if she was probably recording the ice skating thing, wasn't it? Where that was possibly that bit when it gone off to do another bit here, there, and everywhere. That's
Oh, she had, yeah, she
oh,
was
bless her.
literally MIA. So no, but we said that's so Spinal Tap, because everything we've
Could go
done,
wrong.
so many Spinal Tap things, like being trapped on tour buses, actually ending up in a janitor's cupboard when we were supposed to film someone. Oh, you name it, it all went on. And when we used to fly to America all the time, she literally would put one of those blue blankets over her head, and people thought I was next to a dead body on every flight because she didn't move, and it was completely over her head with her
Get to recharge after all that
seatbelt
energy.
on.
It's just the
And
only
she
time
could
to rest.
sleep. I know, I was so jealous because she could sleep at the drop of a hat. She'd get on a plane, and I'm up like exciting. I go and talk to people and this and that, but I've got my corpse back in row
Yeah, I've
42A.
I've got my dead body back there. They're fine. They'll recharge later.
And people did actually ask me, like, is she all right? Is that, do we
She's
need to get a doctor on board? And I was like, no, she's just sleeping. She's fine.
She's fine. She's just been really, really busy, and this is probably the first sleep she's had in about 3 days.
So the show itself, so it was the first time I'd seen the Skeletor show. And what struck me was the build up before that curtain comes down. I know it's called something Japanese, isn't it? Kabuki.
Kabuki. It's the Kabuki
Kabuki.
curtain.
So we saw the kabuki and we are like, oh my God. And that kind of, and because you haven't got a support band,
Yes.
it's even more exciting because you're chatting
Yep.
to people, once they hear an English accent, they're like, oh, did you know Princess Diana? Do you eat squirrels?
Definitely.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I love all
definitely.
the like, like the questions we get asked. And obviously I say, yes, I do know the king. So it was just that buzz, and there was just everyone from all walks of life, all ages. There was a little girl I'll never forget, and she'd taken her dad for the first time, and she
Oh,
was teaching him the lyrics. And then, literally, when that curtain just dropped and the band just kicked off, it was magic for 2 hours. We literally got out of our seats, we danced, we hugged, every nuance, the whole production. I could see how much work had gone into
yeah.
it, the hundreds of tons of equipment to make it so special. But for me, it was when he came as like the floating Pope in the middle of
Yes,
the
on the back.
stage. So sorry if I get all the names wrong for him,
Oh
but
no, no, no!
I
I
was
know,
like,
I know the bit when I was on the first because I was at that's where I met Vanessa was at Manchester, but where I was stood, I couldn't see him. initially. I'm like, what is everyone staring at? And then I just like kind of moved a bit because I was quite near the front. I went, oh.
I've never seen anything like it. I mean,
No.
between that sonosphere, and they didn't have any stage theatricals or anything. It was more the looks and
Yeah.
it was just full on the band and the fans. For me, that production is, as a kid or as anyone, to see that and not have to watch it through everyone with their iPhone lenses in
Oh,
front of
magic.
you.
It's
It
just
was
magic.
it's such a great idea, and I really hope. I know Iron Maiden are starting to
Yeah.
do that as well, and I hope every band does it soon because you just want to enjoy it for what it is, and it's not fair because every kid that goes to a gig now, they literally feel like they have to film it for Insta or film their reactions, and I just think no, be in the moment. You've got 2 hours of something amazing,
And it
and
really is like, I mean, I've gone to quite a few gigs. I went to one recently. I went to Powerwolf and they were phenomenal. Like they're very
yeah.
theatrical as well. But I don't know what it is about Ghost. There is just something, an extra something I can't put my finger on, that keeps you wanting to come back for more. I don't know
Oh,
what
I
it
would
is.
1,000,000%. Alas, the rest of the tour got postponed, so we couldn't go to the other couple that I was due to
Yes.
go to. But for me, that was enough that I could just sit and think about it for the next few days. And obviously, I wrote up my article
Oh, I loved your article. I love
and
it.
just oh, thank you, and just talking about the incredible Ghost fans and what an amazing job Vanessa does as the conduit between Tobias, or Toblerone Fudge, as we all
Yeah,
lovingly call
and the
him.
veils.
Yeah, and the
And the veils.
fans, and then I love the fact he's now got women in the group, so girl power, and
Huge amount. Huge shout out to all the ladies. I mean,
yeah,
it's
that
just
work on the
incredible.
road, from the tour manager to all the people I met at Ozzy's last gig that were all part of his crew, loads of females, just an incredible team he's got behind him, and just how much effort he put into entertaining us and the fans, I thought was, absolutely phenomenal. And coming up with the GTV idea, the Gallbangers Ball, which has been, as you know, has had millions of follows
That
on
idea
Instagram.
was the best idea ever. Like seriously, and I loved the fact that it was he just wanted Vanessa. If he couldn't have Vanessa, it wasn't going to be it. And just to be that thoughtful to the fans, knowing that we weren't going to have phones, we weren't going to have the snippets, that he had something as an idea to put there. And it must, you must have felt like a proud moment. Like, that's something that you started all those years. How did you come about being the producer for Headbangers? How did that
So
happen?
long story short, I grew up in a really horrendous council estate in Slough, and I was the only rock chick, really seriously, the only rock chick. And I was like, I just have to get out of this. And I had these dreams in my head that I wanted to work in telly, and for some reason, I loved Sir Lenny Henry, and I was like, I'm going to work for him one day, which I did end up doing. But I knew
I
I
love
wanted to
Nelly.
work in rock music and metal. It was my passion. And my mum and dad used to shout up the stairs, going, "What is that Satan?" Because they liked, classical music and pop. And they're
What
like,
is this?
"What is this demonic noise coming out of your bedroom?" And so, long story short, as soon as I was 18, I got a scholarship to go to a film and TV school in London.
Amazing.
Went straight there, learnt my trade, learnt as much as I could. I was just absolutely blessed. And then started off making tea and coffee at a production company. And we had a TV show, which I know a lot of your younger viewers won't know, but it was absolutely phenomenal, called The Big Breakfast.
Oh, I remember the Big
And
Breakfast.
yeah,
Yes.
I worked on The Big Breakfast, and I was in the bathroom with the two puppets, even though I'm terrified of puppets, I must add.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely terrified
Oh,
of puppets, the
no.
Muppets, Sesame Street, terrified. So we had these these two puppets, and they'd interview celebrities of the moment, but I always used to try and sneak in a rock band. So we got Aerosmith on, we got
I love
Kiss
it.
on, and stuff like that. And then I moved over to a much more controversial show, but I wanted to be there for the music, which was The Word. So
Mm-hmm.
I worked on getting bands like Nirvana, Faith No More, Stone Temple Pilots, Sepultura, and to
Oh,
sort
yes.
of access
Yeah.
metal to more people. And then by pure absolute luck, I had this boss on The Word called Tammy, and she'd got a job at MTV. And she phoned me and said, "Look, we've got this amazing presenter called Vanessa Warwick, and she's doing a metal rock show." And I said, "Oh, I know it. I've been watching it for the last year, and I'd love to work on it." So I got brought in, and it was love at first sight for me. And then we just went off around the world interviewing our favorite rock stars and spreading the word of metal, and also spreading the word that you can be a woman in rock and you don't have to be a groupie. You were in those days, it was you're a groupie or you're
Yeah,
in a rock band. And we were like,
yeah.
no, we just genuinely love the music.
We
And
love the music and we want other people to know about the music.
yeah, she was like a touchstone. And funny enough, we did an interview at an MTV reunion not long ago, and people were saying we actually really miss having presenters like Vanessa,
Yep.
because although we can get everything instantly on YouTube and Spotify, sometimes when there's someone that knows it, has lived it, and has been doing it for 30 years, believe it or not, is it 40? Oh, I don't want to guess.
Shh.
30 years. Thank God for Botox. Anyway, yeah. Thank you, Saint Bon Jovi. So
Yep.
yeah, we had a really good chat about that, and I think the world is turning round more to
I
having sort
think
of
so.
more ownership. And if I wanted to know anything about a rock star or watch an interview, it was Vanessa I'd always turn to, because she knew her stuff.
Yes,
She knew what to ask. She wasn't scared of anyone, because believe me, we worked with some extremely scary bands back in the
I can
90s,
imagine. I can
like
imagine.
Deicide and Morbid Angel, for example. Um, so yeah, we even got cursed by a couple of them. Went round with people with Uzi 9mm in their cars around downtown Oakland. You name it, we
You
kind of
did.
did it. But we weren't scared of anything. And so that was, that's sort of how it all started. And then after MTV decided that rock music was dead, me and Vanessa got binned. And Vanessa took some time out, and I went on to work at Kerrang, then Scuzz,
Hmm.
and then Sky Arts, which is where I started producing Sonosphere. I was doing Download Festival
Yep.
or Donington, and then we moved on to Download, and then kind of decided I'd had enough, chasing around a field. And also they'd moved me on to do like pop and stuff like that. And I was like, do you know what? I
It's not
am
your
not,
love.
yeah, I was like, I'm not chasing around an effing field after Rihanna again as long as I live. So I got my wellies. It was muddy at every festival. There were loads of idiots we had to work with. And I just got my wellies one day and I threw them into this farmer's field and I said, I'm
No
done,
more.
passing the baton on. And it was the best thing I ever
No, because
did.
sounds fair. I couldn't be dealing with it. I'm not a festival girl, I have to admit. I
No, I
like
like a toilet. I like nice food. And Rob Flynn from Machine Head told me the story about the food poisoning he had from a sausage van at Donington.
oh no.
And it put me off for life. And every time I smell or see a sausage van, we're all like, ugh, because what Rob Flynn
Like, no,
had
thank you.
went through. Yeah.
I am very much, if I go to things, I bring everything myself. And so it just means you have to bring a lot. I'm like, no, no, not a fest. No, I like
No.
a nice arena and like where I'm going. It's
Yeah,
like,
I like a nice seat. I'm not trudging through mud. I'm not paying £19 for one pint of warm, horrible Carling
I know the
lager.
cost is unreal. So
And there's the amount of walking and stuff, and they forget, like I've had health issues. I had cancer, and you can't do that sort of walking and schlepping around anymore. So I like it nice and easy. Oh, you got my book.
I have got your book and
Oh,
I've
you've
read
got
your
my
book.
brilliant boobs in
Your
your hand.
brilliant boobs. It
Thank
was
you.
such a read. Oh my God. Literally, I was spending the whole time going, oh my God, Sarah. Oh my God, Sarah.
I hope you like the cancer choir story.
Yes,
When
do you
my
know, I loved
brother,
all of it. The only bit that scared me was MRIs. I had to stop and have a breather after that one. I was feeling very
oh, I still get PTSD, but you know what? If they save your lives, you just got to be wedged in. And hopefully one day they'll develop headphones where you can actually listen to Ghost or something
Yes, something
calming.
goes really loud. Yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah.
That'd be great. But yes, I highly recommend Brilliant Boobs, everyone. You need to go and read it. It's fun. It was such a good read. Like
Thank you.
seriously, it was so good. And I was going, and then
Sorry
I
about all
was
the
going through it again.
typos.
There's Vanessa's name. There's Vanessa's name. I know Nick. It's fine. I know them.
Oh, thank you for that shout out. I love you.
No, this is this is the thing. Like, if I hadn't met Vanessa, I hadn't met you. I wouldn't have read the book. It's like,
Oh,
and they're the random things. Like seriously, the most random things because of liking one band, but it has like
yeah.
led up to so many other things. Like I started buying vinyl again. And because of that, my husband is into all the bands you mentioned anyway, but he's now got back into sort of vinyl. So my 16-year-old has as well. She loves vinyl. She likes going to a boutique vinyl, like the little weird shops that you go in that have that particular smell. You know what
Yes.
I mean? Um, and it's so nice. She's her obsession is Fleetwood Mac. She loves Jeff Buckley. She's an old soul. She likes The Cure. She's like just really enjoying all of it. She's actually doing. I won't put it too loud in case any of her friends see, which they won't, because she'd be so embarrassed. But like her in Lever's shirt, she's putting one of those bands on the back of it and taking a line from their song to put on there. And she comes up and listens to vinyl. And again, that's the ghost effect.
Yeah.
So,
I love it. Ghost leads to just so many things. It really does.
I was so excited. And this whole women in metal and in
Yeah.
such a male dominated industry, like even for Nat, my beloved co-host, and I, like we're doing a podcast. Like this wouldn't have happened if it hadn't been for Ghost.
That would not have happened in 1992, I can assure you. Never.
Nope.
You'd never been allowed. The Old Boys Club would have clamped down on you. The decrepit old journalists at all those magazines I won't mention would
Yes.
have shut you down.
Yeah, we would like though we wouldn't have been taken seriously. Whereas
No.
actually now it's so lovely. I'm so grateful for this podcast and all the different series that we're doing on it. Like seriously, and getting to hear people's creativity. Like
Yeah.
it's just so cool. It's so cool. I've got some other questions. Let me have a look. What else have I written down? I actually wrote on see the link to Ghost because of Gallbangers and Headbangers balls. Um, so do you like when you were producing or working on something, do you have any particular rituals or habits that you do to get you in the focus, or is it just all guns are blazing, let's go?
No, and also, believe it or not, I do get really nervous. I know I sort of, sort of come across as really confident, and I do have to stalk rock stars for a living, but I do have to work myself up. And I also think that even now, having those knots in your stomach before you go and do
Fine.
something, it proves that you've still got that love and that you want to
Yes.
make it really good.
Yep, I agree.
So I do have things that I need to have. Like I always have to have my like in the morning a skinny cappuccino, and then we always have to have snacks. It's called whenever you're filming, you have to have food snacks.
Oh God, yes. It's very
And
important.
then yeah, definitely food snacks, and then absolutely loads of water. I know that's really boring, but it gets loads of Factor 1000 suntans. The amount of times I've been sunburnt,
Yeah,
going to
don't do that.
places.
Yeah.
Wellies, which I never need to see again.
No.
Halloumi cheese seems to be a big one.
Oh, I love
Yeah,
halloumi.
yeah.
You're calling me in here.
Yeah, once you see halloumi, and then the rock star's going, "What is this squeaky cheese, man?"
I call
And
it squeaky cheese. My daughter's like, she was like,
it's
what's
just a
halloumi? I
bit.
went squeaky cheese. She's like, oh yeah, yeah.
And then this is an insight into one of the things we do. So when you're initially sitting down to do an interview, whether you've got a presenter or a lot of the time, because our shows were sold internationally, we had to cut my voice out. So I'd ask the questions, and then we liked it when the rock stars talked directly down the screen,
Yes.
'cause it's like
Yeah.
they're addressing their fans. So I'd be right behind the camera, and I'd ask the question. So obviously you get a bit nervous. I always preferred having Vanessa or someone I knew and trusted, because then I didn't have to worry about
About that.
if I cocked it up or if they were being moody, which has happened loads of times. So I'd sit behind there, and I'd always ask them what they'd had for breakfast. I don't know why, but it just really helped them
Good
to.
icebreaker. Really
Yeah, it
good.
was an
Yeah.
icebreaker, and especially Americans are quite croissants, and we had like those, what are they called? Those flapjacks. They're like 15 pounds, as in weight. And then sometimes their answers would be funnier than the actual interview, so we just montage up stuff. So I always had sort of certain go-to questions. My other big philosophy was, when you've got four band members, so I'm quite
Yeah.
good at psychology and reading people. And there's few very famous bands where the singer wasn't really in the mood to talk. So what you do is really, really concentrate on the bass player or the drummer who don't ever get much attention, or the ugly one in the band,
Yep.
and be really interested in what they're saying and go, "Oh, that's the best answer I've heard all year. Oh, that was better than Metallica's answer, blah, blah, blah."
Yep.
And invariably, whoever it is, their eagle will take over. So then they're straight in, and then you get the big
Yeah.
star and the
I
star
love it.
moment.
Mm-hmm.
See what I did there?
I like what you did. I like it a lot. The meerkat in them would come out. Hang on a minute.
Yeah, I need to be all about that. And then they suddenly like chat away like you were an old friend. So
That's
that was
fantastic.
always so they were like my little rituals. I think about how I can lure them in. I'd always try and start with something funny or ice breaking,
Yeah.
depending on who the band was. But I mean, the key thing was for me was to do my research. Know everything, especially on the red carpets and stuff like that when you're on at the Kerrang Awards or the Heavy
You haven't
Metal
got
or the
long.
yeah, and your presenter or you yourself, you need to know who those people are, what they're here to promote, because every band is there to promote stuff, and then think of a killer question. So I always had ones for like before sort of I don't know what to say this the Me Too movement. I was working with bands like Marilyn Manson and Jared
Mhm.
Leto, and I like Jared. It was always what hotel are you in, what hotel room number, because people wanted to know. My favourite was Marilyn Manson when I said, "Oh, why are you here at the Krang Awards?" And he said, "Oh my God, I thought this was the Harry Potter premiere. I wanted to meet the Harry Potter kids." So anything you catch that's really unaware or them out of character, I always try to sort of link in anything that was more human because the old school journalists, they just talk about the seminal third album, their lyrics about this, their hate on other people, so trying to stir up a
Oh
rivalry
yeah,
like
no,
they
thank
did,
you.
Poison versus Def Leppard. We're not bothered. We want
No,
to know what's going on, where they're staying, what's this, what's that. I want to know what's in their pockets.
yeah. What are they up to? What
Yeah,
ridiculous? What's their, they fly a lot. What's their travel hack? That sort
anything
of thing.
like
Like
that.
that. The silly things that humanize them. Like
Yes.
and bring them back down to you are still a human being, you still have to pack a suitcase to go somewhere. It's like,
Yeah. It's like I was asking one of them, I said, "Oh, do you know all these British things?" And it was this rock star that's really out there. Like, he just lives on a different planet from LA, obviously. He didn't know what I'd ask things like, "Oh, how do you pay your council tax?" And just really normal things. What's the price of bananas? Where would you go and do that? Or, things like, "What's your favorite toilet roll? What's your favorite supermarket?" And they were just, the answers they gave were so funny.
confounded. You confounded them.
Absolutely. Have you been to a Lidl before? And they were, what?
What a little. What
And
do
then
you
we
do in
did
there?
we did a really funny one up in Scotland at Rock Ness. And the American bands all genuinely believed that there was a Loch Ness monster. So we'd have their philosophies on the Loch Ness monster. And then the British bands would be like, "Oh, you're having a laugh. And,
Yeah.
like, of course it doesn't exist, blah, blah, blah."
Blah blah
So
blah.
we
Yeah.
had this montage of like,
Really
US versus
serious about
UK.
the conspiracy of the Loch Ness monster, and then
Oh,
us lot.
yeah.
Someone out there with a thing on their back. They're just swimming around every so often. Oh, I love it. Oh my God. Do you know what? That's like obviously this is pipe dreams, but if ever I got to speak, we got to speak to Tobias or things like that. That's the stupid things I have written down is ridiculous, like ridiculous questions, the fun questions, the stuff where you go, no, no, stop asking about the album. We all know about that now.
Yeah,
Oh,
exactly. That's what they want to be
interesting.
asked. They want to be asked something they haven't been asked before most of
Yeah,
the time.
and keep it fun. Right, so what's the most rock and roll moment you've witnessed or been part of that we can talk about on the podcast, that's allowed to be discussed?
Oh my God. Oh, I'm trying to think. There are so
And we can
many.
broadcast.
I can tell you well, obviously I've seen things like a certain band. Oh no, because I don't want to go too far down the groupie days because that was back in the 90s. But I can tell, oh, like bands having to measure girls' breast size so that they could go backstage. And if you went a 32 double D or above, you couldn't get backstage. So
I was safe then.
yeah, there was all sorts of things like laminating someone's goldfish, someone that kept pooing on another person's tour bus.
Oh, I
Um,
heard about some of those stories from some of the stuff I've watched recently.
Horrendous.
Where you
But I
go,
think I think my Vanessa's most rock and roll moments were, like I said, getting trapped in a tour bus with Manowar, going to the wrong Donington before we
oh
had
wow,
sat
that's
nav, because
impressive.
there's a Donington in Yorkshire, and she was there, and I was going, well, I'm in Birmingham, and obviously getting stuck in the just like Spinal Tap. She was actually stuck in a janitor's cupboard when she was trying to get to the front of the stage to bring on Europe. when she was walking on stage with Kiss at Donington Festival, and she was interviewing Paul Stanley, and they were just about to walk on, and her dress got attached to Paul Stanley because he was in his studs and everything. She had to go on stage with Paul Stanley still attached to him. So I did laugh at that one. I've
Oh,
seen a
that's
drummer
fantastic.
so drunk from a really famous global rock band have to be wheeled up onto the stage in a wheelchair because he was so drunk, and he still played the drums perfectly, and then they wheeled him
Put
off
him
and
back
went
off.
back to bed.
That's muscle memory for you in the best.
Ozzy Osbourne. Oh God, I've got so many about him.
Rest his he's fantastic. I love that man. I love that man
He
so
was
much.
he
Oh
was
God, it
so
breaks
down
me.
to earth. He was so sharp.
He's so
He was
funny.
just
So
absolutely
funny.
brilliant. And he always called me Harding. He's like, "Oh, Harding, what are you doing?" And one, we were filming Ozzy at the Dorchester Hotel, which is where he liked to do his interviews when he wasn't out in Gerrards Cross or Amersham, where the mansion is. And I said, "Oh, let's get a big throne and dress it like his mansion so he feels at home." So I put all the lovely burgundy curtains, all the crucifixes, hired this massive throne. And Ozzy comes in, looks round, and goes, "Fuck me, Harding, have you burgled me?"
Yeah,
He
brought it
thought
all
he was
from
back in his mansion in.
springing up. Make sure it's still there.
But I can tell you my most embarrassing story.
Oh, go on, go on,
Oh,
go on.
it's cringe. I still cringe to this day. So I absolutely idolise Jerry Cantrell from Alice in Chains. I've stalked him around the world. I used to fancy him like crazy. I just adored him. I loved everything about him. He's quite a serious guy. He doesn't suffer fools gladly. And they were playing at Sonosphere, and I always ask for Sean Kinney and Mike Inez because they're just a right, not to distract from the fact Jerry's an absolutely brilliant person, but they're people I know, and we have a really good banter, and you just can
Yeah,
set them off, and they're gonna
they're
they're
gonna
gonna
go.
go. And then anyway, I got into this Gibson tour bus, and they said, "Oh, Jerry wants to do the interview." I was like, "Oh God, I haven't thought of anything for him." Blah blah blah. Anyway, he gets on the Gibson tour bus, and I just start giggling. I can't stop. And he's going, "Why are you laughing at me, little girl? Why are you laughing?" And it made me laugh more and more. Anyway, got through the interview. I went to get off the tour bus, and I was locked in it with him. And so I said, "Oh, Jeremy will be along soon. He can let us out." And we just started going, and we ran out of small talk really quickly. And by this time, I was banging on the windows, like, "Let me out, let me out." So eventually, I get off the tour bus, and I'm still laughing, and it gets worse. So I've got this. In the old days, we used to film on these massive tapes, and we
Hmm.
got round on this golf buggy that my friend was driving. I had all the tapes. And I tripped as I went to get off the golf buggy in my handbag, dropped all the tapes. And when you fall over on gravel, you go,
Oh.
ugh! A Tampax rolls out of my handbag between these 2 feet, two big feet. And I look up, and it's Jerry Cantrell killing himself laughing. And I was like, "Oh," so I tried to make small talk, pick up it wasn't a proper, packet. Picked up my extra large Tampax, put it back in my bag, tried to gather everything, and he was chuckling away. And so I thought, "Oh, well, I better make a bit more small talk." So I said, "Oh, blah, blah, you going on station, da, da, da." And he was laughing, but he was looking down at my chest. I realised I'd ripped my top off, and I was there in my Marks and Spencer's bra, like this, just shutting out like that. And he was, and I had to leave, and I could hear him laughing for another 10 minutes. It gets worse. And I was like, "Oh, I just don't want to see him again for a long, long time." So I went round. I was really hungry. So I went round to this rib shack that was like backstage. And I was absolutely stuffing my pie hole with these ribs. Like, ugh. There's a tap on my shoulder. And I turn around. I've got all meat moustaches, all meat juice, all
Oh.
down there. And it's Jerry Cantrell again. And I was like, "Oh my God, I just needed to eat." And he just looked at me and said, "Well, at least they're not carbs," and walked off. And every time I've seen him since then, he's just can't stop laughing at me.
Giggles every time.
Every time I know that he's laughing at Sonosphere Day. I know it.
One thing after the other. You go, it's all right now. It's fine. I've sorted that. It'll be
I
absolutely.
thought, no, I was after the tour bus, I was absolutely just I don't need to see him again for quite some time. And
Few
then
years, be fine. Be fine. This is my fear if I ever meet my heroes. That will be me. I will assure you right now. One, the giggling for sure.
yeah, and you just can't help it. You just
No,
can't. It just comes out, and I'm never intimidated. I've interviewed Slipknots, like, Nine
I'll
Masked
be fine.
Maniacs coming towards you. They're as soft as a basket of baby kittens, but
I
I
bet they
don't know why
are.
it's always Cantrell. So
Oh, that's brilliant. Thank you so much. Oh God. All those sorts of stories where you're like, I could do with never ever seeing them again for like a good, good couple of years. And you always,
and
yeah, it's always straight
he's the
away.
one I keep bumping into, or he keeps saying, "Oh, Jerry will do the interview," and I'm like, "Oh my
Really?
God, yeah." But I love it. I love him really, and we do have a laugh about that. But he says he'll never forget that day.
Neither will you, ever. They're the best sorts of things. Oh gosh.
I
Oh, to
love
breathe
it.
now.
So speaking of which, so I'm writing a children's book at the moment about
Oh,
my
fantastic.
beloved Brentford Penguins
Yay,
team,
Brentford.
the Down syndrome team. Shout out to all the DS kids. But my next book is called The Groupie's Guide. And obviously, it's how to get backstage pass, how to marry a rock star, how to hang out where rock stars hang out. I'm going to get sued by a lot of them, but
Ah,
also how to get a selfie, what to say if you do meet your idol, and like all the killer, amazing shrines you should go to around the world. So
oh, that'd be good.
watch
Yes.
out for that, and then some really funny other stuff that happened on the tour, not just by me but by fans. So I'll probably be doing a shout out to a lot of people through you for any of their really funny fan moments with their
Yeah,
favorite.
that'd be amazing. Oh my God, yeah, with all the anecdotes and all the silly
Yeah,
stories and yeah, I'm living the moment like if I ever do meet Tobias and I'm like I'll either be really good and have a very, be very thought out or I will turn into a teenage girl.
that's the risk we take,
It's
and I
one
can't wait
extreme
to
or the
find
other.
out. One day
Oh
you will
gosh.
meet him, and I cannot wait to see what happens.
Just my idea is to ask him what was his most embarrassing moment meeting someone he appreciated.
I think that's a brilliant question.
Because
I
I'm
think
like,
file that now,
I've
have it there,
filed it down. I
have
have
it
a
on a
little list.
laminate so that you'll never forget it. I
Always
would.
in the pocket, ready to go. Just hold on, I have something written down because this will not work if
I
he's
think
in front
that
of
is
me.
genius. Do it, because I think he'd really appreciate that. Because he'd probably have some stories about when he was following the bands that he loved watching on
But
Headbangers
yeah,
Ball.
I mean, I watched all the Aussie stuff. I mean, we were
Yeah.
lucky enough to be at the Q&A beforehand, and I saw some of the pictures, and to me, he looked like someone really just excited to be around the people
Mm.
that he, saw growing up. You saw the same
Yeah.
look in your eye that I've seen in my own eye when I've had photos taken and gone, wow, I look like I'm high on something. It's called life, but
Yeah.
generally, it's just like, but that's the power of like music and like bringing people together. Like, how do you think the music scene has changed or the metal scene has changed in your perspective over the years? Like from when you started with back when we were younger, not that long ago, and now.
Um, for me, I think it's become a lot more open doors.
Mm,
Um, it was really tough in the early 90s, especially for women, and especially for us just going to gigs, really. Um, and now what I love is, like, we keep saying this to bands that keep hiring the old boys club to film their stuff or write up their stuff, is that I'd say about 52 to 60% of rock fans these days are women
yep.
and girls, and we
Hmm.
need to inspire that next generation. And I think that's what I love. What I love also is that nowadays, with podcasts, being able to write, like we've got some amazing people at Metal Talk now that are a lot younger, and a lot of females, a lot of female photographers. And I think it's brilliant that we can start our own creation, even if it's writing, a few gig reviews, doing a podcast like you are, if you're creative, right, doing some photos. And I think that's something that's really, really building. I think obviously the world's got a lot smaller. Bands are having to tour a lot more because they don't make money from
No.
Spotify. So they need to go out,
Hmm.
show the band. I love the fact that they do loads more meet and greets and VIPs. I know it's a bit more expensive, but if you think you can't put money in your coffin, but
No.
having the opportunity to meet your hero, even if it's for a photo and just to ask that one question, I
Yep.
think is really important. I think the things that are really missing are we used to have go-to shows in the 90s and noughties where we had an appointment of you, whether it was Headbangers Ball, whether it was all my stuff I did for Kerrang or Scuzz. We
Yep.
had that one place where we could all visit. And I think when you've got YouTube and Spotify, it's all really diluted. And also, a lot of the people that control these companies don't like rock or heavy metal.
No.
So we're the dark, dirty secret. I went up to Simon Cowell once and I said, "Why do you never have anything rock or metal?" And he said, excuse my language, but he said, "I fucking hate rock music. And you're
That's
supposed
not
to
the taste.
represent a country as this and that." But I said, "Do you know what? I'm pleased he doesn't like rock music because we're our own kind of like band
Entity.
of
Yeah.
community, and
Yeah.
I don't want people like that in
No,
our
we don't.
social circles." And
No, I agree with that.
you look at the demographics, and you know how well rock music is placed in the world. I love that a little kid in India can watch it now. My besties in the middle of nowhere in Australia or in Brazil, it's much more accessible. Um, and I just think, if you can, I hate the fact that it's so expensive to go and see your bands
Yeah.
that you love. I think it's ridiculous. Although I do appreciate bands like Ghost have got a huge production, Slipknot, Metallica,
Yeah.
it's a site and it's a production. But when they're paying thousands of pounds to see a DJ who's just on a MacBook Pro,
Yeah. What?
it's
It
just a
doesn't even
con.
compute, does it? It doesn't.
No, no, it's just ridiculous. But if you're getting sheer entertainment, I love that. So I think that's pretty much the big difference. Great that we've got loads more women, inclusivity, which I'm really all
Yes.
about. Disability, disabled people like myself and my friends can all go to gigs now and really be
Yes, it's
looked
getting better.
after,
It still
festivals.
needs a little bit of work. We've worked that out at
Yeah,
the O2. It was quite shocking at the O2, I have to
yeah.
admit, for one of our friends. She's completely blind. And
I met her at the
you
Karma,
met
lovely girl.
Kimberly.
Yeah,
She's beautiful soul. I absolutely
yeah.
like I love Kimberly. And they emailed her to tell her to look for someone in a particular colour top.
Oh,
And we went, work
yeah,
on that.
yeah,
Do better. Do
yeah,
better.
yeah.
But and then at that point though, Richie, their security guy, was our knight in shining bloody armor that
Yeah.
night. He was phenomenal. But yes, but accessibility is getting better. Still needs
It
to get
is, but it's still not quite there. But then we're not as basic as America, and we never will be.
no,
They
no.
treat people like absolute shit, making fans sit on the floor like you're in a school hall.
Yeah,
I'm
no,
like,
thank you.
it's ridiculous. So I tell people just boycott those places, boycott them, and they'll soon get the message. It's like I refuse to go to Brixton Academy, and alas, Machine Head are playing there, but I will not go. I'd rather go get a train up to Wolverhampton. There's certain venues I will never go
Yeah,
to
I
again.
I have been, because I used to live in Dulwich, so I grew up in
Yeah.
Dulwich. So I went to Brixton Academy quite a few times, and all I remember is it made my back ache because the floor was so sloped.
And also, if there's a rush to the stage, you get crushed. And you've seen all that stuff. It's just, I
Yeah,
don't like it.
I only do front. Oh, well, I have to admit, Ghost is the only time I've ever done pit and barrier
Yeah,
because I watched and no one moves.
no,
They all stay where they are, and I went, I
yeah,
can do that. Whereas I went to Powerwolf and I loved it, but I was in a seat and I watched a mosh lot, and it made me twitch. That's
yeah,
not me. That's not a bit of
yeah.
me. I can't do that. And it's for other people. That's fine if you want to do that, but I don't want to risk injury when I'm seeing a band I like. Thanks so
No,
much.
no,
So Ghost is the only one where I'll do barrier. But yeah, you get crushed at Brixton big
yeah,
time. Keith and I used to stay at the back. Fortunately, I'm tall.
yeah.
I'm a tall, lanky girl. So I was like, I'm just gonna stay at the back. It's fine. I can see them. It's all good. It's all good. So yeah, I saw Placebo there, and that's the first band my daughter is going to go and see with her dad at Wembley Arena in December.
Oh, see, that's what I love is that it's passing from
Yeah.
generation to
I
generation.
would go too, but we can't afford all three of us, and I want to go and see some other bands this year, so we're quite
Yeah,
happy to like split it up. I'm like, no, you go with your dad. That's really cool because Keith was about 15 when he saw his own band on his own, but he was a big bloke, and that's the sad thing. Like
yeah,
again, that's what I worry about. So I said it's awful. My children are, as I said, 16 and 14, and I'd probably be a lot more laid back about my son going to go and do something than my daughter,
yeah.
which is awful. And I don't want to be like that, but I'm like,
No,
she's a small, blonde, pretty little thing, and she's
yeah,
petite. She is petite. and my son is now taller than me. It's like, God's sake. So it's like, yeah, go with your dad. Go with your dad. You'll have a great time. And I'm so excited for her to see her first like show. It's
Yeah.
she's gonna love it. She's gonna love it. Whereas I've got two. I want to go and see a band called Smash Into Pieces, which is a Swedish band that I actually knew before I knew Ghost. And they actually just they were in the semi-finals for Eurovision. Love it. Just all. And then the other one I want to see, but this is because 16-year-old Geraldine wants to go and see them, is Dog Star.
Oh, yes. Yeah. Hello, Keanu. Can't go wrong.
Yeah, exactly. I went to my friends. Is it wrong? That's the only reason I'm really going. Actually, the music is pretty good. I went and listened. I went, oh, it's very listenable. I like this. But 16-year-old Geraldine was a massive fan of The Matrix, like huge. It was all over my homework diary. Like that was my thing. And I'm like, I think I need to go and see them. I think I need
You
to go.
do. You do. Honestly, like I said, whether it's a movie star or this or that, just go and see them. Life's too short and never be ashamed.
Yeah,
We love who we love.
yeah. And my 16-year-old self will be just there going, oh my God.
Look, his Point Break is one of my all-time favorite films.
So good. He's
So,
so good.
hello. I'm
I
hoping to go to
know.
the Dog Star as well. I'm trying to see if we can get an interview with him. So I'm working on
Oh, if you're there, we could come.
it.
I'll come say hello. Come say hello. That
Oh,
would be amazing.
absolutely.
That would be so cool. This is the other thing is like I go to stuff now and like I will see on my social media other people who've been there. One person
Yeah,
actually went, "Oh, I saw you at Powerwolf, but I didn't want to bother you." I was like, "Oh,
yeah,
always come and say hello to me. If you see me,
yeah.
say hello because I think that's amazing." And like Dusty Gannon, he was in a it was Vision video. Now he's Dusty Gannon and the Agonal gasps. But I went to see him December the previous year. And actually, someone came up to me while we were waiting to chat to him again afterwards, and she went, "I follow you on Instagram." I was like, "Do you?" That's very nice of you. I'm really flattered. Why? so, so you're currently working on a children's book. Are there any dream projects that you have for the future?
Oh, that's
Like
such a
after
good
this one,
question.
anything
I
you would
think
love
that,
to do?
oh yeah, I mean, there's definitely bands that I'd love to sort of go out and work with again or do stuff with again. I think we're really blessed that most of the bands we worked with in the 90s are still going strong,
Oh,
or
right.
bands that kind of formed because of
Yeah.
Headbangers Ball or the 90s.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel really blessed. Oh God, that's such a good question. Uh, and a lot of the lineups have changed from when I used to love these bands. I would love to work on the next Ozfest, the tribute to Ozzy, because we
Amazing.
worked on the original Ozfest back in the day, and working with people like Mike Bordin from Faith No More, um, all the amazing women, Mike Inez on bass, Adam Wakeman on keys. I'd love to work on Ozfest and see what else new and vintage bands Sharon Osbourne brings into the
Yeah.
mix.
Yep.
I'd like to work on mainly the UK one because the American bands are very much in their gang. So
Yeah,
I'd
no,
like
I
to see
understand. Yep.
the UK one and see how different that is. I would absolutely love to work with Pantera again because they were one of my favourite bands to work with. And I know we lost the late great Dimebag Darrell and his brother Vinnie Paul, but I still love that there's bands that have survived tragedy like them,
Yes.
like Alice
Yep.
in Chains, like Slipknot, that are still going strong. So I think I'd like to sort of revisit the nostalgia, but I can't wait to film the young bands mixed in with
Mixed
that.
in with
So I'd
it.
say my
Yes.
dream would be to do Ozfest and perhaps some more brilliant things with Vanessa Warwick. And we are concocting some things. So watch this
Watch
space.
this space. Watch this
Watch this
space.
space.
So, what do you think young Sarah would think? You, young Sarah, would have think of where you are now. How
God,
would
I think
she feel?
she'd be like, hell yes, you got out of that horrible council estate where you were bullied for 18 years for having one piece of hair that used to go up like that. My nickname was Channel 4 at home. Just how you've managed to get out of that, be a really normal person from a really, sort of poor background, with parents that wanted me to go and work in a tax office and be a typist, to what I've done today. And I won't say it's been easy,
No,
it's highs and lows. Being freelance, you've either got a few quid or you haven't. So I'd say, good on you. You rock.
You do. You absolutely do rock. And what would you say to someone trying to get in the industry now? Like,
Um,
because it is a
oh,
difficult industry. There's
it's
no denying
really,
it.
really difficult. So I think it's easier now than it ever was. I did a talk with some college kids recently, a lot of females as well. And if you look at how everything's opening up, for me, I would go in and say, "Look, can I learn from you?" So
Yes.
I'd email people like Sophie Kay at Kerrang Radio, email anyone I love and admire that's in the media or working on something, or volunteer for somewhere like I
Yep.
did with Metal Talk. And because if you think about it, sometimes you don't get paid, but you get gig tickets. And for me,
Yes.
that's
And from
I
that
could
you're gaining
spend fifty
knowledge.
thousand pounds a year on tickets if I wasn't going to review.
Yes.
And then also you're paying homage to your favourite bands because I've always been an aspirational writer rather than a slag people off writer, and that
Me too.
really annoys me.
Yeah, I
So
want
I
I want to
think,
celebrate things. I want the nice
yeah,
thing. Life is hard enough as it is. We don't
yeah,
need to make it
exactly.
worse by stirring up shit.
Yeah, and then just stupid things like when Kerrang started saying, "Oh, you need to get a teddy bear and rip it open and pull questions out of it," I was like, "I'm done.
I'm
You're
done. No,
talking absolute shit. Why is this important to rock kids? It's
not.
ridiculous." I said, we're aimed at everyone, and that's when it all went crap. So I think just look out for your favorite people, really, really practice your writing style and typing. I think it's really important.
Yep.
I had to do spelling every day. I had to learn, even though I've got a few typos in various things. But I think just look out for who's aspiring you and work with them. And then say there's a band you really, really love, start doing your own stuff about them. So if you love
Yes.
Iron Maiden, start doing stuff about them. That's what I suggest is just hone your skill. And it's so easy now. If there's magazines or websites, just keep emailing the editor and writing in with what you can do. Same if you're a photographer, same if you're a podcaster. Just say, this is incredible, and always sell yourself.
Yep.
Never
Absolutely.
say, "Oh, do you mind?" No, I'm here. I can do this. You want me?
Yeah. Can I, and the worst they can do is say no. That is
Exactly.
literally it. They're not going to do anything else to you. The worst they can
Yeah.
do is go, no, thank you, or ignore your email. I've had
Yeah.
that a few times. I've reached out for certain things for the podcast, not heard anything back. I'll give it a few months. I'll try again.
Yeah. You always try. That's what I always do. Knock on those doors.
Yeah, and
And
keep,
I always
and
say, if they say no, it's their loss and their arse biscuits.
yeah,
Simple as
yeah.
that.
It's their they are losing out on
Yeah.
me. That's definitely their loss. Big
Yeah.
time. Big time. Absolutely. I love that. Yes. And that's what you have to do for yourself because it is about being confident. Even when you're
Mm.
like we were saying earlier, feeling nervous before you do it.
Yeah.
Like I
Means
as
you
you said, I
care.
think that still shows you've got the passion and the love for it and you still
Yeah.
want to get it so right. I think if
Yeah.
that disappears, it's because you're in the mundane. You're going through
Yeah.
the motions and it's like, yeah, absolutely. Oh, I love this. This is so good. We're helping you out here, people. This is really good. Um, if you all right, this is just a silly fun question. One of those silly fun questions. If you could describe yourself in 3 words, what would they be?
Big blonde stalker. Nosy, because I don't want to get
Inquisitive.
arrested.
My dad was always good at that. He'd be
Yeah.
going, no, 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 no. You're not nosy. You're inquisitive.
Oh no, I'm really nosy. I've got the nose for it. I am so nosy, it's unreal. And honestly, it makes you a good interviewer. If you're
Yeah.
nosy, you want to know stuff. My
Yes.
parents were the first people in the country to cut their net curtains down in the 70s because they wanted to be nosy.
Nosy.
And I stand by that.
Yeah.
Stand by
My
it.
daughter and I talk about if you don't have net curtains or you have the light on, you're inviting people to look in your window.
Exactly. And they didn't realise that people could look in at us really clearly, but that's what made it really funny.
Actually, here's another one for you. So, from all doing and meeting all the bands that you did on Headbangers, which 3 would you invite to dinner?
Definitely Ozzy Osbourne, the late great
Yes.
Ozzy. I used to cry. He was just funny without being funny. He was dry.
It
Um,
made me. I felt bad that I didn't know more about him. I've learned a lot posthumously. Like I went
yeah,
and watched the Osbournes and was there. Just I couldn't stop laughing. They're just so. He's so funny. He's
yeah.
literally so funny.
And
Yes.
I've got so many funny stories about him that I just can't even because
You have
it's
to write a
just.
book on it, just on Aussie.
Oh yeah, I think Sharon might sue me, but but just it's just his word. So definitely Ozzy Osbourne. Definitely. who else do I really admire? Definitely Mike Inez from Alice in Chains because he's such a laugh, and you never ever. I think it's always really pretentious when you say, "Oh, I know a rock star," and blah blah blah. But we've worked together 32 years. We've been trapped on tour buses and in toilets and this and that forever. So I think him because I just know it's just going to be a right laugh.
Yep.
Definitely not Jerry Cantrell after my Tampax
No, no, no,
incident.
no.
That one, even though I love you, Jerry. And then, oh God, who else would I put in there? I can't decide between Jimi Hendrix because I love
Oh,
guitars. I can't decide between him or someone really random like Cher.
oh, but I think she'd have such interesting stories as
Yeah,
well.
yeah,
Oh,
someone really random.
just a really random one, throw in amongst the pigeons. Who probably, and then, oh yeah, I can, no, I quite like that. I like
Yeah,
Cher. Yeah, that's a good
yeah. I
choice,
think
that one.
I'll do Cher.
I mean, I just laughed when she was in the Mamma Mia movie, so that was brilliant 'cause she was playing the grandmother. I was like, you go, oh, she's in that. Okay, cool. And my brain's always like, how did that come about? I always want to be on on the wall. Like,
Yeah,
how did that discussion come to the
yeah.
table? How did that start? Oh my God, thank you. Oh, this has been amazing. This is so good. I just want to keep talking. I've got a few more questions. Like you were saying earlier about some of the interesting things that stars would do. Were there any moments that did go completely off the rails, but could put out on TV that actually then made good TV? Did you have any
Oh,
situations
some
like that?
outtake moments.
Yeah, but then
Oh
they
yeah,
actually made the best television.
I think one of the funniest ones. I don't know why it's my childish sense of humour,
Mine too, don't worry, don't worry.
but there was this band that were really showing off. I was interviewing them for MTV, and they were sort of just laughing around and shoving each other. And then one by mistake shoved them, and they fell over a rail and landed in all this mud. And I was just dying. I was absolutely dying. And then another one was the Distillers, who were a really, really serious band. And we were filming, I can't remember, it was Kerrang or something. And they were sitting on chairs. And it was the woman that everyone loved, Brody Dahl, or I don't know how you pronounce her name. Who's, they're quite a serious band. And anyway, she went to sort of lean back and she went and she took all the
All
band
of
with
them.
her. So it was like ding, ding, ding. And then the worst one that I'll always remember is we were doing Dave Draymond from Disturbed, and he's really serious. You don't piss that guy off, and you're not late for interviews. Anyway, we had this famous sound man. Everyone knew him. Dreadlocks, really Jamaican, really on his own time. He's one of my best friends, Ray, but his
So laid
nickname was
back.
Where is Ray? Because he was always missing when we were just about to do something, normally at the bar or somewhere. And so Dave Draymond was all ready. You've only got a limited time. Oh, by the way, I just must come back to my a Tobias thing about the
Yep.
content. I'll come back to it in a mix. It's really important to say. So we were sitting there. We had a great, beautiful shot lined up. Dave Draymond was ready for his interview, and he's another one I can't make small talk with because he
No.
just. So I was like, oh, anyway, yeah, our soundman should be here. And I was trying to think of a reason, not that he's at the bar or chatting up a bird. And I was like,
Yeah.
I'm really sorry, he's got diarrhea and he's had to go and have a poo. And I've never seen Dave Draymond laugh in his life. And he absolutely howled. He spat his coffee out and he's going, hey, when you got to go,
You
you
go,
got
you
to
gotta
go.
go.
So rather than storm off, he stayed and we actually had a good laugh about that.
Woo. It's probably the best way to have done it, really. Oh gosh.
So, and that was all on camera.
Oh,
And
fantastic.
then I think Corey Brennan from Slipknot was TV gold. We used to like make video diaries with him, and he'd
Oh,
go out in disguise. No one would know it's him.
oh, that's
It was
amazing.
early days Slipknot, so no one. But he loved going out, and the things he'd say to people, like especially the goths at Download Festival when they were getting sunburned, he'd be going, umbrellas, ladies, umbrellas. You need Factor 1000. And how do I get a beer in this place? And he'd take tickets off people coming into the gate and they wouldn't realise it was Corey from Slipknot. He'd be going, who are you here to see? And they'd go, Slipknot. And he'd go, oh, have a great show. Didn't suss at all.
That's amazing.
Yeah, and then the funniest one I ever did was Bill Bailey, the comedian, was
I
performing
love
at
Bill.
Sonnet. I love that man.
I love Bill
Anyway,
Bailey. He's so
randomly,
clever
I
and
said
funny.
to him, I put up like a chalkboard, and I said, "Can you explain the unholy alliance to people, Slayer, Metallica, Anthrax?" And he did this pie chart of them all coming in. It was absolutely hilarious, and
Oh
all the
my
crew
goodness.
were laughing. Everyone was laughing. And then the next morning, we broke into people's tents to see how they were feeling, like just genuine fans
Brilliant.
and campers. And the
What are you doing?
footage we got there was funny. There's anything we found knickers on a barbecue. We found raw sausages. There was like cider for 50p that they'd left. Oh, it was just
Oh, God.
brilliant.
Carnage. Carnage, but the best kind of
It
carnage.
was brilliant. And we cut it with Opeth, that beautiful Hex Omega, where it's all beautiful and like flowy, and there's people like so that was a good one.
Oh, that's brilliant. Oh my God. I love all of that. What did you want to come back to? You said you were going to come back to
Oh
a series.
yes. Yeah, so if we could cut this in, but one of the really important things about Vanessa being a conduit between
Yes.
the rock band and the fans is on it's really important to protect your voice as a singer.
Yeah.
And for me, working with bands like Corey, Machine Head, Rob Flynn, John Bon Jovi, who recently had to have vocal surgery,
Hmm.
I think it's really important for vocalists these days, and they're told by their coaches, do not sing, do not do interviews on the day
You're
of
singing.
your singing. You have to do your warm lubrication, your warm drinks, and don't do it. And I totally understand that. And that's why I think it's really important that we bring back people like Vanessa and other um, amazing hosts to be that conduit. So fair
Yes.
enough, let them do an interview at the beginning of the tour and the end, but do let them rest their
Rest
voice.
their
So
voice.
I think it's
Um,
really important.
it's so important because I'm really lucky. I have a singing coach myself, and
Yeah.
actually, he was a lead singer of a band. He was at Dishwaller, J.R. Richards, and I literally came to him after Manchester. And went, my voice has gone really weird. He went, "Yeah, you talk too much." Ah, yeah, that's it. Thanks very much. Because I, I said it's gone really deep. It doesn't hurt, but my God. And he went,
Yeah.
"Yeah, talking's worse than singing. Like
Yeah.
it's just." He went, "In a few days, you'll be fine. You'll be fine." I
Yeah.
was like, "Thanks very much." I was like, "This is really weird. I don't know what's going on here." So yeah, I said we actually chatted him on one of the episodes and said, "Oh, what do you do?" And it's trying to be good because he likes talking to everyone as well. Yeah,
Mm.
a lot of these people do, and you have to be sensible and say, "No, I'm singing. I can't do too much talking." And look after this because this is your
Yeah.
instrument. You have to look
Yeah.
after your vocals. It's very, very important. Otherwise, you can't do the singing on the stage. You have to look after these. So yes,
Absolutely.
and I totally agree with having the likes of Vanessa as conduits, and also real people with the rise of AI. You don't know what you who or what you're listening to a lot of
Yeah.
the time these days. So having people that you can trust who are likable, approachable, and are going to give you the right information about the bands as well. And yeah, I love all of that. Actually,
Mm.
it's like you said, it's bringing some of that past back that I think we really need.
I
That sort of
agree.
the human connection. Bring it back round. So yes, I'm all for the phone bands in the shows because I know if I have access to my phone, I will use it. I can't help. I don't mean to. But it's
Yeah,
like
but you just can't help it. You
I'm like,
can't.
oh, that's such a good picture. Oh, that's such a good picture. I'm a photographer now, and it's ridiculous. Whereas if I'm told if it's in a yonder pouch, then I can't get at it. I'm not bothered. So yeah, bring on the yonder pouches. I'm all for it. Not being contactable as a mum and a self-employed person for 3 or 4 hours was bliss. I'm,
I love
I'm
it.
all for more of it. And now this is so we're going to round off. I don't want to, and we're going to have you back on so you can have a chat with
Thank you.
Natalie as well soon. But a very important question we ask everybody, or we've been asking most people on this series, is your karaoke song of choice. If you were forced to do karaoke, what would you pick?
Well, I sing alas like Aled Jones, We're Walking in the Air. So I always want to sing something like for me it'd be Psychosocial by Slipknot.
Oh yeah,
But
yeah, yeah, yeah.
I always change into Psychosatchel. So for me it's something that is the opposite of Aled Jones. And also, I'm back rewind, I absolutely hate puppets. I
Mm-hmm.
absolutely hate musicals. So
Oh
no offense, I hate them. My
no!
family all
Really?
tried to get me to see Mamma Mia. All my friends are like, oh, come and see this and that.
If it's not your thing,
Hell,
it's not your thing.
no, I can't understand a drama that breaks into a musical, so it will never be a musical. And what's brilliant is when you really scare your people in your local pub by singing something like Slipknot when they're used to hearing Ed Sheeran or Katie Price. Oh, not Katie Price, what's her name? Katy Perry or Tay Tay.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
And you come out with that, and they're like that.
yeah.
What is this? Good music is what it is. It's good
And
music.
also Let the Bodies Hit the Floor.
I
That
love
one
that song.
stops the pub dead in its track. And I've got my two girls who are either side and they do it in one, two, and then we let the
Let the
bodies hit the
bodies
floor.
hit
So
the
yeah,
floor.
definitely those two.
Bodies hit the floor. Well, you can't help but join in with that. Oh, it's good. It's good. Oh my God. Thank you so
Thank
much for coming
you.
on. If there's, is there anything else you want to promote right now? Like share, what are your socials? Where can people find you so when this
Oh,
book
so you can
comes
find
out?
me Sarah Jane Harding, TV producer. Even though my name's pronounced Sarah, I had really weird parents who hated the name Sarah but gave it to me.
Fair.
So, and then Sara Harding at Facebook. And then just reach out to me if you've got any questions or you're thinking of trying to pursue a career like my own, and I'd be really happy to help you. And watch this space for more news from the amazing Vanessa Warwick. And I love you and I love all the Ghost fans. And I'm so grateful to Ghost for bringing us all together. Love
So am
you.
I. Thank you so much.
Bye. See you soon.
See you soon.
Take care.
Bye. Oh, you're my favorite thing. If you would like to come and confess your craft and creations with us, email us at fortheloveofghost@yahoo.com. And bright again, there's a song in my heart, I feel like I belong. It's a better place since you came along. It's a better place since you came along.